Put a rich person and a poor person in the same brain scanner, and you will see a real, measurable difference. It is not intelligence, and it is not willpower. It is a difference so powerful it can trap someone in poverty for life, or hand someone an invisible advantage they never earned, and you will spot it in yourself. Because the rich brain and the poor brain are not things you are born with, they are states your environment installs. Here is what is actually happening inside. Start with a landmark experiment. Scientists tested Indian farmers twice. Once before harvest, when they were broke, and once after, when they had just been paid. Same farmers, same brains. Yet while broke and stressed, they scored the equivalent of 13 fewer IQ points than their own, richer post-harvest selves. 13 points. That is the gap between average and gifted. Erased not by ability, but by the pure mental weight of not having enough. Psychologists call it the bandwidth tax. Scarcity hijacks your attention and runs in the background constantly, like a computer with far too many tabs open at once. When part of your mind is always solving, how do I make rent? There is less processing power for everything else. Plans, patience, careful decisions. This is the cruel part. Scarcity does not just mean having less. It actively makes you worse at the exact thinking that could help you escape it. Now add stress. Chronic money worry floods the brain with cortisol, and cortisol weakens the prefrontal cortex, your center for planning and self-control. At the same time, it supercharges the amygdala, your fear alarm. The survival brain gets louder. The strategic, long-term brain goes quiet. So, grabbing a small reward now instead of a bigger one later is not foolish. It is rational for a world where later has rarely felt safe. And this shatters a famous myth. The marshmallow test claimed patient kids succeed, but a newer study found the kids weren't more disciplined at all. The children who waited had simply learned that adults keep promises. The ones who grabbed it had learned the opposite. Take it now or lose it. Patience was never pure character. It is trust that the future will pay out, and scarcity quietly destroys that trust before a child can even speak. Because it runs deeper than habits. It reaches into the developing brain itself. And this is where the research gets genuinely disturbing. Studies link growing up poor to measurable differences in children's brain structure, in the regions for language, memory, and self-control, with the largest gaps at the lowest incomes. This is not destiny, and it is not their fault. It is chronic stress, physically shaping a brain, before that child ever gets a say in it. But here is the twist nobody expects. Scarcity is not pure weakness. In the short term, it makes people sharper, faster, more efficient at the problem in front of them. People with less are often better budgeters under pressure, and measurably better at reading emotions, more tuned to others than the wealthy around them. Now flip to the rich brain. In one experiment, players were given a rigged game of Monopoly, secretly handed double the money and double the dice. The winners, who knew the game was rigged, still credited their victory to their own skill. Wealth quietly convinced them they had earned an advantage they were simply given. There is a darker loop too. When effort keeps failing to pay off, the brain learns helplessness. It stops trying, which guarantees the very failure that taught it to stop. And scarcity hijacks reward itself. An overloaded, uncertain brain craves fast, guaranteed hits. The scroll, the snack, the lottery ticket, over slow, uncertain, long-term payoffs. So let's kill the myth completely. Rich brains are not smarter, kinder, or more disciplined. They are, very often, simply less taxed. The hardware is identical, and that is the hopeful turn, backed by the same science. Brains are plastic. Change the inputs and the wiring follows. Scarcity is a state, not a sentence. You can start cutting the tax before the money arrives. Automating one bill closes a tab. A small emergency buffer literally quiets the fear alarm. Writing decisions down, instead of carrying them in your head, hands power back to the prefrontal cortex. Every worry you offload is bandwidth returned to the long game. And the final secret. The most focused wealthy people guard their attention ruthlessly, deliberately starving themselves of distraction. They don't have more bandwidth, they protect it. So the real difference was never money. It is room to think. Build your life a little more of it, and your brain will follow. We will be right here with the next story.